I'm live. Um, I'm live because I don't know how much time I'm going to have this week, so I wanted to come on. And I'm grabbing some stuff. I was going to go on earlier, but I had so much like work stuff to do. Monday's the day I work out of. I don't go into my office. I just stay home and do my things here. So and I was just talking to my little world. She's well, my little world, you guys know Katie. She probably needs no introduction. I was just talking to her and I was telling her, oh, I think I'm gonna go live. She's like, yeah, go live. And she's back from vacay. So I wanted to hang out a little bit. I'm gonna be doing some like outfit changes, so you guys have something to look at. And I know the babies are all upside down here like this, but I wanted to do a few outfit changes. I wanted to do a few outfit swaps. So hi, I can barely read that. You know what? Let me get my tablet because that is so tiny. I see somebody popped on, but hang on a second. Hang on. Give me a second here so I can see who we have here. I'm going to go on my tablet so I'm able to read the chat. Okay. Let's see who's here. Oh my gosh, ads. Okay, so here we go. Hi, my little world. Hi, Jen's Aura. I was going to ask if you had done an outfit flop. Flupa? Jen. Okay, Jen. Hi, Charlotte. And hi, the hippie mommy. I'm going to let you guys like slowly stream in. Ooh. I was doing some like rearranging and stuff today, this weekend. I got into, before we get into the poll, I'm going to just wait for people to come in. Hi, it's me, Zoe. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I hope you had a good weekend. Okay, so I was doing a lot of like clearing out of boxes because the boxes had just overrun. You know, I think we all live in a world of boxes. We don't live in a box. We just have too many boxes. So I decided to like merge the things, because I had some boxes that had a little bit of things and another box with a little bit of things, and I'm like, oh my god, this is just too many boxes and not enough things. So I started putting everything together. So that's what I did. No, I'm not doing that kind of swap. I'm going to be swapping outfits because I want to see I want to see this on Polo, and I wanted to take I wanted to put a different outfit on my silicone. Oh, and I got an adorable hat. Not this one. This is the one I took pictures in. Hold on a second. We're gonna get there. Oh no. Okay, let me go grab the other doll I want to change. We have a really overcast and gloomy day. And I don't like talking about the weather because I was watching another channel and they talked about the weather for such a long time. I was like, what is this? The Weather Channel? I just thought it was funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, I do that so much myself. Okay, I'm going to put this there. I popped on so quick that it didn't grab all my outfits, but we're grabbing them right now. And we're gonna I have a baby pile up here. A doll pile up. I want to see, what I want to see is this outfit on my Scarlet. And then I got an adorable hat that I want to see on my Tice, which is my silicone. But give me a second here. Come in. Thurston is growling at the door. Okay, I'm just grabbing here. I thought I had this one outfit close to me, but it doesn't look like I do. So, no. Okay, guys, sorry about that. So, hi, everyone. Hi, let's see. Did I miss anybody? Nope, didn't miss anyone. All right, so we're going to do a couple outfit changes. I'm just going to move this guy, shift him over. And I'm going to derobe this little guy. This is the Grayson by Bonnie Brown, because I want to see him in something different. So that's the problem when you have so many outfits and you don't know what to put on them. I'm actually looking for something specific here because I had something in mind with one of the outfits I have. Oh, I just have too much stuff in this drawer. I'm hoping it's in the second one. I think I'm going to go for a diaper and a sweater for this guy. I haven't done that in a while, where I just do the diaper and the sweater. But if you guys haven't already seen my poll on my community wall, which is only visible on a mobile device or a full PC, you can go over there and you can maybe read the little scenario that I put up for you. Oh, I found it. Here it is. I found it. I found what I was looking for. You can read the scenario that I presented on there, and then you can vote. It was a question about wasting time. Now, just for clarification. Oh, good. I'm glad. Just relax. You guys I can ramble here. Yeah. The color of that outfit will look great with his light hair color. Shipping boxes and her husband's addiction. I'm not gonna lie, I have a hard time. Sometimes I get like a really nifty size box from Amazon. I'm like, ooh, I can reuse this one. And it just becomes a situation where sometimes I reuse them, but it's far and few between that I end up reusing one. So this weekend, I really did a purge. I said, you know what? I haven't used it. I'm gonna move past the fear of getting rid of that great box and just be done with it. I flattened them and got them out because I really got tired of seeing them in my room. So yeah, so let me go and just talk a little bit about that poll. I need to grab something here. I'm sure that I'll revisit, I might revisit this topic again, but it's something that we talk about here because, you know, I had personally, I had a situation a couple years ago, which just escalated and just got really nasty and really bad. And when you have a social media and you have a YouTube platform, I did use my YouTube platform to bring attention to it. Not really though, because I never really mentioned who the buyer was. But when the buyer saw the video where I was talking about, you know, sale disputes, she just took it upon herself to make videos about this new situation on the wall. Has nothing to do with me, by the way. I just want to let you guys know that. But I do sympathize a lot. I'm a fair person, but I do sympathize a lot with sellers, especially nowadays. And I'm only going to be strictly talking about the scams or the time wasting from buyers to sellers. It's such a huge topic, and I know that it can happen the other way around from a seller to a buyer. But I want to just, you know, narrow this to just that situation because I have been through it myself. I know a lot of other people who've sold, whether you're an artist or whether you sell secondhand. I know you guys a lot of people have been through it themselves. So, so I'm just going to talk about that. I don't want it to get derailed into like this huge topic of, well, you know, because somebody did leave a comment like, oh, well, I've had it, you know, there's no one talks about the sellers wasting the buyer's time and blah, 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 blah. I want to just narrow it to one situation. But I did have a situation where I had somebody that I didn't necessarily call them a time waster, but I stayed quiet about it for like 8 months. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this person the benefit of the doubt. But that was such a huge mistake on my part when a second time came around and they ended up buying a doll from me for the second time. The first time they canceled the doll right before I got to ship it out. And the second time I shipped it out and then it was like a whole big hoopla, okay? This big lie that the doll was damaged and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get into the details of that because I have a playlist with all the sordid details surrounding that situation. So anyway, but my point about this is that I think it's better to talk about these things and air them out and but maintain decorum while doing it if you can. If the other person doesn't drive you completely to the brink of like insanity, if you can. I mean, we're all human, so there's going to be times when we act less than, you know, calm and collected, you know, because it is just not possible. We're all flawed. So I think this needs to be talked about to clearing the difference between time wasters versus asking questions prior to purchase. Yes, and I'm going to bring that up too. So, you know, I had a situation, which I'm just going to go over really super quick again. You know, so this person was kind of a time waster where they bought a doll from me. Then a couple hours after they bought the doll and right before I shipped it, they decided not to go through with the purchase. Without any hesitation, I immediately, because I hadn't sent the doll out, I immediately refunded them their money. And really, honestly, it was kind of annoying. It was somebody that I never wanted to do business with again. I never said anything about it to anyone. I didn't feel like it was appropriate to talk about it at that point because it was not such a big deal. No doll was sent. The money was sent back immediately. So, you know, So that happened. But 8 months later, this person kind of ambushed one of my live stream sales, paid the money in the middle of my live stream sale. If you're familiar with my channel, you know what happened. Anyway, it turned into this big thing. But sometimes I wonder if I should have said something back then. It turns out that that person didn't only do that to me. It turns out that they actually did this to multiple other artists and people that were selling. So my point about bringing that up is that there are some people, unfortunately, I mean, I guess sometimes we're not going to be able to tell exactly, but there are some people that have a pattern. And so this situation that I put up on my wall, I feel really bad for this seller. It is a touchy topic, yeah. She said, Jen says, I lost over 1,000 on a Reborn. Unfortunately, people are greedy. Yeah. Oriente por Eranca. Thank you so much. Okay, so yeah, so I hope I said that right, your name, because I can barely see it. I'm going blind over here. Anyway, thank you so much. Yeah, I really adore this doll. So I'm going to put just a sweater on him. He looks cute like this, doesn't he? But I'm going to be using this top on another doll. So that situation happened to me. Then I still have PTSD from that whole ordeal. It made me maybe a little bit of a more cautious and maybe a little bit more paranoid seller, where I really don't want to sell anymore. I have sold dolls since then, but it really, I don't do it the same way as I used to. I don't really announce things. I just have a list of people that I contact if they want to buy a doll. You know, if they like something, then I have them on a list. And then if I can remember who they are, I contact them first. So it really made me apprehensive about selling, you know, and it made me think a lot about contracts and how we communicate as a seller what we expect, and how, you know, to get the buyer to accept those terms. Now, I feel like my sell video in my first situation that happened a few years ago, my sell video was part of the contract, was part of the terms. So it was required for them to agree that they watched it. Now that went totally sideways because she paid me in the middle of my live stream. Then she announced that she just paid me and bought the doll. Then other people started announcing, oh, congratulations, you got the doll. So in all honesty, she ruined my entire sale. She totally derailed my sale, because now anyone that might have been interested during that live stream that I set aside time, it's a time waster, right? I set aside time to do, you know, she just completely derailed it by ambushing it, buying the doll, announcing that she bought it, and then 2 days later, 3 days later, when she got the doll, I don't want it anymore, you know? So I consider that person a time waster. But what made it worse, why I started considering her a scammer, was because she did a chargeback when there was nothing wrong with the doll, and made all kinds of false claims about the doll being damaged. So that's when she kind of elevated or graduated to scammer. And I do see that a lot of the time, some of these people that end up scamming do start off with small little situations where they've wasted somebody's time. And for the most part, everyone stays quiet about it when it happens to them. Or it's kept really hush-hush, you know, it's kept privately. People just pass the word on through the grapevine. There's no big announcement on some public forum, you know? So yeah, so this time, you know, the seller and the situation on my wall post didn't actually set like firm terms with the buyer. Let me read your comments really quick. Jen says, I believe it's important that artists film the box packing and show details very well. Also talk about what you're doing, where it's going, also how much, so you will have it if you go to court. Yeah, I know a lot of artists do that. I think it's a good idea. I did take the girl to court and won, but will never get the money because she lives far away. She didn't come to court. Oh, interesting. Hi, Maddie Bet. So, so anyway, so the one on the wall, on my wall post, I just wanted to ask you guys, like, if you read what happened, I try to keep my opinion as much away from it as possible, but you know, I have my thoughts on it. But I just wanted to know what the consensus was. Is that a time wasting situation? And just like my little world brought up a few minutes ago, I don't want people to get it, confuse it, or blur the lines. Now, these are things we need to talk about in the community, because if we don't, those people do fly under the radar. Trust me, they do. I'm going to tell you why I feel like this one wants to fly under the radar. A lot of weird things have transpired since I posted that on my wall and made that poll. So let me get his sweater on. So where was I with that? So we have the seller who had a doll for sale months ago, like about 3 or 4 months ago, and the buyer agreed to buy it but asked for a payment plan. The seller said, okay, you know, and the buyer left a deposit, a very small deposit, like I think it was like $30 or something like that. Then no payments were made, and the seller then, you know, contacted the buyer and said, oh, you know, you said you were going to make some payments, even though I guess the seller had originally given her a deadline that said as long as it's paid by this certain date, then, you know, the cost of the doll is satisfied by this date in January, or, you know, will be okay. And the seller then told her, well, I really want this doll, so I plan on paying her off before that date in January. So you can expect me to be making some payments. I'll make a payment, you know, right now. So when, supposedly, according to the buyer, when they finished that conversation, she forgot to make the payment. Like other things happen, I guess, as soon as they stopped conversing, and she forgot to make the payment. The seller just let it go. Okay, she's like, okay, you know, I'm not going to hound her. She said she's going to make a payment. And then the next thing she knows, it's another month. So she decides again, the seller then again decides to contact the buyer. And the buyer once again was like, oh, I thought you said that I had until this. Now the buyer changes what she's doing a little bit different. Before it was like, don't worry about it. I'm going to pay this doll off before the date, the deadline, because I really want to bring it home. So I'm going to be making you payments. And this is the second month now. The seller is asking her, oh, you haven't made any payments. You said you were going to. So then the seller said, oh, well, I thought we agreed. You said that it would be okay if I paid it off in January. And so the seller, keeping to their word, okay, you're right. I didn't say you had to make any payments. Even though you said you were going to make payments, you didn't. So then the seller is like, okay, I'll let it slide again. Number 2, let it slide. So the seller lets it slide again. And once again, no payments. So now here we are close to the deadline. She doesn't hear no communication from the buyer. Seems like no interest or anything like that. And then she contacts the buyer. The seller contacts the buyer one last time, one last ditch effort to see, is this person for real? Were they serious? Am I seriously holding this doll? By the way, it wasn't a custom, but am I holding this doll for them in vain, or are they actually a real buyer? Are they going to buy like we agreed on? And, you know, they're going to make the payment on the deadline. So once again, the seller reaches out to the buyer, in which the buyer responds, I got that illness, which I don't want it mentioned here in the chat or in the video, but they got that, you know, the one. And my partner and I are unable to go to work as a result of that thing that we both got. So my finances have changed a little bit. and I am no longer able to pay off or pay that for that doll. I can no longer buy that doll. Okay. So basically the seller has no other choice. Like, what is she going to do? You know, well, she's going to keep the $30 deposit, such a low deposit, to hold it for 3 months. But this is like a buyer totally taking advantage of a seller. But anyway, I'm injecting my opinion there. So then the buyer tells her this. There was a comment that I saw. Somebody did say something like, you know, while they believe that the buyer did get sick and wasn't unable, you know, their financial situation kind of changed a little bit, they can no longer pay for that doll. They do believe that they're sick, but they feel like they were using it as an excuse to no longer buy the doll, using it as an excuse, and they were actually not planning on ever buying the doll. But that was just one person's opinion on that. There we go. It is up to the artist. She could wait until the deadline day. If the baby instead paid off that day, then no baby. If deposit was to hold the baby, no refund. Could have sold the baby by then. Yeah. Well, then they don't need a reborn. Life comes first. Lose the deposit. It gets better. Hi, Aaron. They don't need a reborn. It gets better. Here's the catch. So the seller, they exchange words. It gets kind of heated. The seller is kind of mad, and she probably said some things she shouldn't have said, like she didn't believe that she was sick and this and this and that, whatever she said. And you know, when she was mad, hey, I've been there too. I can totally empathize with that. So then the buyer posts, you know, gets upset because the seller decides to warn other people that this person is a time waster. Okay, so now this person is a time waster. And you know what? I don't just take people's words for it. I go and I look at the situation. I want to see. And fortunately for me, the situation kind of opened up, you know, it just flourished. It really opened up because once the seller made a post about it on their social media account, other people, then the buyer decided to make a post of their own in a high-end Facebook group, a high-end collectors Facebook group. So the high-end collectors Facebook group, the seller makes the post kind of like, oh, feel sorry for me. This community really breaks my heart sometimes. And at the very last, they explain kind of what happens, kind of matches up with what the buyer was saying, but they were really kind of blaming the buyer. Well, it's her fault for, you know, not collecting payments or not making any firm terms with me, basically. That's not verbatim, that's just my interpretation of what she said. And the very last sentence was, I just don't want the other person that I have a layaway with to think that I'm a time waster. I'm going to let that sink in with you guys for a second here. The buyer in this scenario doesn't want another artist or seller who she has a payment plan with to think that they're a time waster. So now she reveals that she actually, and that might be just one of, you know, that it may be more. There may be more than just 2 payment plans at the same time. And I know some people do it, okay? How people choose to manage their finances is definitely 100% their business. When you start over-promising, you know, especially when you're promising to purchase and you string them along instead of just canceling, you know? I just feel like the whole payment plan, that's not what it's for. It's not for you to, you know, have a doll held for you just in case you do like it enough to satisfy the purchase. Or if 3 months down the road you decide, oh, I don't want that doll, then that's not what a payment plan is for. It's for people who genuinely want to buy or very interested in owning that doll and then making actual payments in between the deposit and the final payment. It's a commitment because the seller is wasting time, not, you know, in the meantime, they're, you know, not posting the doll for sale. They could have sold it months ago. Instead, they were holding it for you. So it turns out that she's got multiple layaways, and now she doesn't want, her concern is mostly she just doesn't want the other person to know or to think that they're a time waster, because she's had a lot of other successful and satisfied payment plans. So, and the thing of it is, it's like she may not be a chronic counselor, you know, a time waster. Maybe it's not a chronic problem of hers. But I do notice, I seen in my, and this is all anecdote, okay? This is just in my experience. I have seen people who fly under the radar, reserving dolls here, payment plan there, and canceling here, and not satisfying here. I mean, I don't know how many times have you seen artists post, oh, my buyer could no longer pay for the doll, or they decided they didn't want the doll. And it's like a prototype or something, you know, and so they put it back up for sale, right? So somebody else made a point that, well, the seller wins here because they get to keep the deposit. So they're up $30, you know, on the doll because they kept the deposit. And I don't think that's kind of like a deflection. It's not the point. And that's like one of those, it's just an argument that it's a deflective argument. It's just to deflect the whole point of the payment plan, because it gives, what it does is gives people like me and artists and other people who want to sell their dolls, it makes them more apprehensive about doing payment plans anyway. Mighty Bet says, shake my head. If you have the thing and can't afford one doll, how can you afford the other? Very true. My Little World says, imagine stringing someone for 3.5 months, Christmas included, and then the last day saying you were sick and you need to start working again in order to pay. Yeah. So Jen says, time waster doesn't fit this. Scammer and liar, not right. But on the other hand, artists should have set rules of payment with no exceptions. Yeah. And I understand. Like, I'm not trying, I don't think by calling the buyer a time waster, we're placing fault, because there were mistakes made by both. And so I like the fact that this was brought out into the open, because I feel like it's an opportunity for the entire community to learn the do's and don'ts, not just the buyers. Hey, you're not allowed to do this. Hey, don't, you know, overpromise and, you know, pay your layaways, you know, this and this, that. Not just for the buyers, but this is eye-opening. I hope for anyone who ever, and any artist or anyone who ever intends to sell a doll, because we do it a lot. We do it a lot. My Little World says, I saw a few of those too. Missed on dolls, thanks to people only to see them back on sale after I get another doll. Yeah. Seller losing a safe sell too. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I've seen that too, where there was like maybe a prototype that I'm interested in, and then I miss out on it because the artist then gives somebody else a payment plan, and those people don't follow through with their payment plan, and then the doll is up for sale, but I no longer have the money on hand because I ended up buying something else because I thought that doll was not going to be available anymore. So it happened to me recently with a prototype. So, but I guess it doesn't matter because I'm getting a doll made by this artist anyway. So, oh well, you know, you win some, you lose them. You can't have them all. Aisha. No, I don't remember. Sort of, I kind of remember. But the artist sounds like they care about the person to let them put a small deposit down and not making payments. So mistakes on the artist side on that deal, I don't see it. Yes, things we should avoid. Well, I, for one, does he look cute? I think I'm going to leave him like this, but I'm going to put some socks on him. Mistakes were made. I'm going to wrap him up in a blanket, so we're not going to do any pants. I just think that as sellers, so what I started doing with, after my situation, that horrendous situation, oh, these don't match, but I think it's okay. What I started to do was, I started doing contracts with people who buy my dolls. And I just basically feel like if you're selling and you present your terms, people can take it or leave it. There'll always be a buyer for you. My terms are not that crazy. They're just realistic for both the buyer and the seller. What should be realistically expected from, look at, I'm not an artist. So my terms are custom to me as a collector selling from my personal collection. So, but I can imagine that an artist would have terms custom to them being an artist. And, you know, disclosure. Look, he's so cute. So I thought that's an interesting, very interesting situation that happened. I think I still feel bad for the seller, regardless or not if she went in it with, you know, let's just put it out there. The sellers, to me, went in good faith. This was a good faith situation. In good faith, she trusted that buyer. She had no reason to think anything otherwise. But all it takes is for that to happen to you once, and believe me, you'll be suspicious of everyone. And you won't take anything for granted. You won't, because I know I don't. I always do sell terms. I make sure that I send everybody my sell terms. You know, and you just give as many details as possible. Excuse me. And now I only just want to sell to people I know. Jen says, when you're getting scammed, it isn't easy to see it as it's happening. Yes, it's kind of, that's why they say hindsight is 2020. Because it is. It's kind of hard to see. You're like, is this really happening? And you don't know what's going to happen day to day. I mean, I spent almost a year in that hell with this one buyer. They spread so many rumors about me. They had them and her friends, you know, that people that got close to her that already didn't like me and my channel. There were people that got close to her just to antagonize, just because she was opposed to me. So it wasn't like it was a friendship based on, you know, positive things. It was a friendship based on their mutual hate of me. So there were people who came to her side that were there for self-interest, and they egged her on, and all of them who had channels got together and made videos. One of them who, you know, completely deleted her channel, but then she came back with like a whole new persona, I guess, sorta. They made entire videos talking about, saying that I used filters on my videos, that I photoshopped the pictures of my dolls, continued to perpetuate the lie that the doll I sold was damaged. So, I mean, I don't think that I would do some things different. I don't think that I would have stayed quiet about it. No way. And I'm kind of appreciate the fact that there are people that get into these situations with a time waster or a scammer, and they do speak up about it. I do appreciate that, because you're going to catch flack either way. I feel like I would have handled it just a little bit differently. Hindsight, you know. My Little World says, I think this is the way for all sellers who do layaways to add clear terms to their plans. Yes. What made them stop? Well, because basically when you form friendships or alliances on negative things, like the basis is mutual hate, for example, those friendships or those bonds, those alliances aren't sustainable. So what happened was, she was in a mix with a lot of like bad people in this community on YouTube, and they all turned on each other. They turned on her, she turned on them. They started making videos about each other. They kind of self-destructed. It was an implosion because, like I said, it's just when you form alliances and you're basing it on something negative, and that in my situation, they formed alliances because they already equally, they didn't like me. So their friendship wasn't true. It wasn't, founded on something good and nice, it was founded on something bad and poisonous. So that's what happened. They ended up turning on each other. So she ended up having to just kind of go completely silent on her channel. Thank goodness, and I think a lot of them ended up just, I don't know. I don't know what they ended up. But yeah, so that happened. That kind of stuff happens. Let me see. The filter ridiculousness. Yeah. It was not even a friendship. It was lameness and obsession. Yes, it was lameness and obsession. Look at my brave little cub. I got this one for my little bear, but I'll put this one on him another day because I have another outfit for bear. And I want to try this on him. So this is the outfit swap that I was talking about. I'm going to be putting this outfit on Bolo. So yeah, thank you everyone who participated. I'm not going yet anywhere. We're still going to be talking and stuff. But thanks everyone who participated in the poll. I really appreciate it. I had a friend that, they didn't feel like, I understand where she's coming from. Like, I totally understand the idea of just not labeling anybody and calling people, having these terms labeled for them. And she brought up, how sometimes people who are selling, or artists that are selling, people who, if you're either selling from your personal collection or you're an artist and you're selling, and you put a doll up for sale and you get all these inquiries, people message you and they want to know, and they ask all these questions. She didn't like the idea of those people being labeled time wasters if they ask all these questions and then don't buy. That's not the same thing with the situation that I presented on my community wall, because this person probably, I don't know, they probably asked all the questions, which is fine, but they actually committed to a purchase and left a deposit. I know the argument was that they don't feel like anybody should be called any names or labeled anything. If somebody can't pay something, they just can't pay it. But I don't think there's a way to do it. We can talk about these things. I still firmly feel like these things need to be out in the open as they pertain, not like interpersonal situations. Like, if this buyer and this seller just hated each other and they were just fighting and it was now nitpicking and just like arguing, I think that would be, or how they used to be friends and then now they're not friends. So one person comes out and does like a salacious video about how they were, betrayed in the raw by this person. I mean, those are interpersonal things that aren't really part of the conversation, as far as, because I think that is drama. That is drama. I don't know another way to put it. But when it comes to sale disputes and things that people do need to know about, people that we need to be aware of, the stunts that they're pulling, I think that's kind of important. When I found out in my situation that this buyer had problems in the past with other artists, I was like, and I had myself a problem with her in a previous sale. I really wished that I wouldn't have let what people think of me on my channel affect my overlooking her initial behavior with me when it came to a sell. Like, at that point, I was really going to block her from my channel so that I wouldn't have to communicate with her, take her off my social media accounts. because I felt like she was a time waster. But I had a change of heart. I was like, okay, I need to be, people are going to be like, oh, you know, Ines blocks everyone. She gets, you know, she blocks people if they don't agree with, you know. So I let that cloud my decision. That negative feedback that I get from people because they don't know where I'm coming from and they're not in my shoes. I let that cloud my decision not to block this person. Because I honestly, I mean, this is just me thinking back on things. Like, I honestly do think sometimes if I would have blocked her when it happened with the first doll, the second sale would have never happened. None of it would have ever happened. And I probably would have sold it to a very nice person, whoever was at my sale. There were lots of people there that were truly interested. And I honestly always think about that. I'm like, if I just would have blocked, I would have had all of that turmoil and, you know, drama and stuff on my channel. So yeah, there was that's that hindsight that I think about that a lot. I'm like, but it happened. It changed the way I do things. It still triggers me. That's why when I see these situations happen, I do kind of butt in. I do look and see, well, what's going on. I did contact, not privately or anything, because the seller in the situation on my community wall actually posted about it in a Facebook group. Hi, Margie. Yes, we are always looked at closely, but it's not other people's money you almost lost. You see people upset over $50, let alone $1,000. Yeah. People just don't, they walk a day in my shoes, you know? That's all you can ask. Like, when you put yourself in the other person's put yourself in the other person's shoes too. So, and I have no idea what to do. Yeah, it's kind of scary, but that's why we're talking about it. That's why we're talking about it, because we want to take the fear out of it. But yeah, in the situation that I have presented on my community wall with a poll, I actually, so the buyer in this situation posted in the Facebook group, and so I answered. I participated in her, not in her pity party, but in her post. I was not okay with it. I just let her know, look, this is basically what I said. You know, this is how you as a buyer can totally avoid being called a time waster or a scammer or any of that, or have, you know, this kind of situation. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Basically, I told her, if you are in a financial situation where you need to only buy with layaway, then commit to that layaway. Okay, you be the master of your finances. Commit to it, to that purchase. If you're the kind of buyer that needs a layaway, but your financial situation can be completely derailed by one event. I'm not talking death either, you guys. That's the only one that I think, like, you know, a spouse, a child, or somebody deathly ill or something like that. There's extraordinary situations, okay? But if you're in a financial situation where your layaway or any payment plan can be derailed by one singular event, then layaways are just not for you. My best advice, my best unsolicited advice, but you know, you come here to listen to my advice, in my opinion. If you're watching, that's what you're here to do. You want to hear what I have to say about that. But my opinion is, save the money. That way, when you have all the money saved, whatever that amount is, for the type of doll you're looking for, you have the money in hand to offer to whoever's selling, and you pay it in one payment. That way you avoid any payment plans, and you avoid inconveniencing the seller when one event, if there's some unforeseen event happens, You know, you won't be inconveniencing the seller because you weren't on a payment plan. So you save the old-fashioned way. You don't do this promise to pay payments, because obviously, could you imagine if all she was doing was saving her money, but she didn't have a doll on hold? Then she wouldn't have inconvenienced no one, right? Nobody would be inconvenienced. That's what I'm saying. Layaways are not, I mean, it's to give you a little time to gather the money. And there's some people that do layaways. They're like, money half now, the rest of it in 2 weeks. They're not even looking at no 3 months, 5 months, year-long layaways. So do you guys understand what I was saying there? I just don't think that layaways are fit for people who can have their whole payment plan derailed by one singular unforeseen event. Layaways are just not for you. You can do your own type of layaway where you haven't promised to purchase a doll, and that way, once you did your layaway and you saved your money, at the end of that savings, you're like, hey, I just saved myself $1,500. I got money in hand. What do you guys have for me for $1,500? I see it all the time. There's people, I like those people because they know what their budget is. They have the money in hand, and they go out there and look for what they want. So My Little World, I paid off my custom doll and she lied. I had a video up even showing court papers, but it was taken down almost a year after I posted it. Oh, I didn't know about your situation. My Little World, let me see. I was the customer that was scanned by an artist for over $1,000. Did you go to Judge Judy? Because I have an opinion about that Judge Judy one, where with that one artist, Sherry Secra. I actually sympathize with the seller in that one. My Little World says, honestly, if you cannot afford to buy one doll, don't start multiple layaway plans for multiple dolls. Yeah, I just feel like that's kind of like, it's just not, it's an irresponsible way to do it. Like, again, we cannot tell people how to manage their money. But you also got it. There's some personal accountability here. You can't just get all these people involved in your financial instability, Do better. And as far as being the seller, we got to do better too. We have to do better. We need to not be shy about setting. I still side with the seller on this situation though. Okay, I still side with them. But I've been there where I didn't really set these firm terms. So I'm thinking of putting these. I don't know if oh, you guys can't even see his feet. Let me scoot him up. I would be so nervous to be paying off so many dolls while fully depending on my one single paycheck. Yeah, it's too risky. You thought about going to Judge Judy, but you don't like her? I did a payment plan on a custom, but a custom is way different than being a seller of collections. Yes. Do you want to share your situation? You've piqued my curiosity. I know that there's, you know what? That was, I think I said at the beginning of my video that I was only talking about like sellers being done dirty by buyers. Because it's such a broad topic. And I do know, I understand that there are and every time I do a video like this, always a buyer always comes in and it's like, I had an artist scam me, and I know that it does happen. I know that it happens because I've seen lots of people, where yeah, okay, we'll just put it out there. There are artists out there. I don't know, I can't speak too much on people with personal collections because I haven't really seen people with personal collections doing anything shady, but I have seen like artists out there, maybe newer artists or whatever, you know, that have had issues with buyers. And in with the issues that I mean were like where they promised to finish a doll, um, oops, I put this wrong, by a certain time, and then they've had to delay the custom. And I know it's like, I have no light over here. They delayed their custom. Oh, YouTube took the video down? May you say the name? No, I mean, we can talk about it, but I don't know if I don't know. I don't think you need to say the name. But you can tell us what happened in your situation without saying who the artist is. Because that person's not here to defend themselves. So, but you can definitely explain what happened in your situation as the buyer. The seller was not at fault. Yeah, I know. She was selling the kit as I was paying for it. What? Oh, yeah. Now that is a scam for sure. For sure. So do you want to tell us? We're all like, now you've really piqued my curiosity now, Jen. If you feel comfortable telling us, I'll read it, but leave the names out. What do you guys think about this outfit on him? Looks cute, right? I put this on Killian and I thought it looked cute, but I honestly got this with him in mind, and I just love the way he looks in overalls. I don't know, maybe I think it's his sculpting. It's the way that Bonnie sculpted his arms, his legs. He just looks cute in day wear. Looks cute and everything. Okay, so she was selling the kit and as I was paying for it. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. I caught her and talked to the girl that was buying the kit. So you entered in some kind of verbal contract or contract. You in a purchase contract agreement. You entered in a purchase agreement with this artist or seller /seller, and she was supposed to be working on it as a custom for you, but instead she was offering the blank kit or the completed doll. Was it a blank kit or completed doll? You think he would be? I think he would be as a girl. They both would. Yeah, he is cute. I've had this kit as a girl and a boy, and somehow I always end up just wanting it as a boy. Although the other day I was like, what would he look like in a dress again? But I like this one as a girl. I mean, as a boy. So was it a blank? Was she trying to sell it as a completed Reborn, or was it she trying to just sell the kit? We're at the edge of our seats here. Okay, so Jen says she sold the kit to someone else, scammed them, and then was sold to another girl. After I talked to her, she canceled her payment. So she tried to sell it twice. Oh my God. A tootie, over $1,000. That's awful. That is awful. Did you make a lot of payments to her in your payment plan? Were you paying? That's really bad. I am curious about who that might be, but they're not here to speak for themselves. Darn it. I'm going to shift this little guy over. I'm going to bring Tice on, okay? Because I have something really adorable for Tice. Sorry about the lighting, guys. I'm out of like daylight in my, I need to get my, I've been saying this for months, but I want to get some LED lights put, because I hate lamps, but some LED lights all on the edge of the ceiling throughout every corner, like the whole perimeter of the ceiling. So that way I'll have light, not just from a lamp in the other corner of the room, but from like the whole room will be lit. Will be lit. Okay, not that kind of lit, but you made many payments. That's such a shame. I think I might actually say her name, and when you see it, I will delete it. Oh, I don't know who that is. I see it. I saw it. I don't know who that actually is, but I'm so sorry that that happened to you. That is a real shame, but I would be interested in knowing more about it. Because if that person is scamming, running scams, I think the community should probably know about it. But I wanted to do a little bit more of my own research on it. Yeah, I can imagine, especially if you made how much in total. So how much in total did you pay? Did you lose out on? Even if you lost out on $30, $50, that is a lot. Honestly, I think anytime, any amount that someone gets scammed out of their money from is a lot. Unbelievable. So do you think that she actually has, do you think she actually has the kit? Or is she just pretending to have the kit? I wonder. Oh, this lighting is so bad. Oh well. C'est la vie. We're going to put this little jammies on this guy. This is gray because I've been, okay, so this is what I did. I've had this one for a while. It is a cashmere footed coverall by Zara, and it's in 0 to 1 month. And it's kind of cool and cold over here, so we're gonna put this on, and hopefully I'll have time to take pictures with him later with his little cat. And I ordered this hat here to go with this outfit. I wasn't sure how big or small it was going to be, but it's okay if it looks a little big on him. I have some more beanies on the way that I'm excited. Well, I'll share with you guys the beanies when I get them. I have some friends that are like having babies, so it's helping me keep up with the trends. And I've been kind of like looking at what they're putting on their babies because they're kind of cool. They're hip chicks, okay? They're hip mamas, and I'm loving the way they're dressing their babies. So I did order some more beanies now for pictures because I don't usually keep the beanies on beyond the pictures because I'm just kind of a little bit more paranoid about doing that sort of thing. But the only thing about this, I ordered this one from Amazon. Yes, it's shit that I get, ordinary shit from our Amazon that I buy, and I quote. But I ordered this one. But the only thing about this is I didn't like it. It came right away, like a day after I ordered it. I don't know how I'm gonna fluff this out because the picture showed the little pom-poms here, the little fur pom-poms, nice and fluffy like this. And this one, So they look like they were going to be like this, but they're flat because, I don't know, they got flattened. And I've been trying to, oh, you know what? I just thought of something. When I was younger, I was a cheerleader, and we used to put our pom-poms in the dryer in cool, like with the tumble dry with no heat, just to fluff up our pom-poms. So I think I might try that, but I am gonna put this on him tonight. But I'm gonna try that later, see if that works. So I will let you guys know if that helped fluff this back up from being flattened. So it's kind of funky. I thought it would be more like this, and it's not. If you guys can tell the difference. This one's all fluffy and perky, and this one's just like squished. So let me see. I don't know that one either. What in the heck? This is that's a scam. Yeah, I agree with my little world. That's a straight up scam. About 13. You paid $1,300. She sold it. She was doing live videos and talking about my doll and did a little painting on. Oh my gosh. Wow, what's her channel? She was doing live on Facebook or on YouTube or Instagram. What? Oh my gosh. I just looked up her social media, and let me put it this way. She has no business charging over $1,000 for her work. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen it. Not to mention, this is very shady behavior on her part. Yeah, it is. She was trying to sell a baby with the feet backwards. Oh my gosh. It's on YouTube. She went live. Never heard of her. Oh, that's sad. I'm so sorry that that happened to you, but I'm really interested in that. I wish I could. My friend just got her Andrew silicone. And she got armatures in hers, and I'm thinking, I kind of want armatures. The next time I get a silicone, I'm going to see if I can get armatures. Sometimes I wish like the legs would stay up like this. This is why I love you, Bonnie. When she does all those curled legs. Bonnie is the queen of the curled legs. She is the queen of curled legs. And then, so with the armatures, I think I would want them in the arms. Maybe the legs, I'm not sure, but so I can do little poses with the arms where the arms would stay up, or, you know? Not a lot of people have seen my face either, so I don't know if that's like, I have in the past shown myself on my channel, but I don't anymore because I just don't want to. Oh, he's so cute like this. Okay, so let's put his jammies on him. But I am so sorry that that situation happened to you. It's really, it really makes you, and that's a lot of money. So you got a court order, you got, you know, a judgment for yourself, right? You could always travel to her state wherever she's at, because I was prepared to go all the way too with my scammer. And go to her state and file a claim, and then add the charge that I had to pay for hotel, rental, everything to my suit. So no one has, okay, so she's a custom for a Bountiful Baby for the doll show, I believe 3 or 4 years ago. I think it is Abigail, I don't remember. If she ever tries to get a loan, this court order will show up. The police and court both told me not to go. Really? I wonder if she would go to Judge Judy. Because I actually contacted Judge Judy, and um, I actually contacted Judge Judy. Hold on a sec, I'm texting my daughter. Okay, so I actually contacted Judge Judy, and I was surprised when they contacted me back, and she was so mad that I did that. But and when I talked to the producers, Judge Judy, and they told me that that whoever wins, like they would pay the expenses to, like, if any of us were out of state, or she was out of state, so they would pay for her to fly to LA because she was in a different state than I was. And they would pay for my hotel and whatever, and then if she won, or if she lost, whatever, whatever, I would be the plaintiff, and if she lost, they would pay. So she wasn't even going to have to pay what she owed me. The show was going to pay for it. So yeah, there's that, but she was mad about that. Did you do your transactions through PayPal? Or how did you pay? How did you make payments to her? Oh, one little, like, added thing to the situation on my community wall for the poll. So when I went and I commented on her Facebook poll, and I just basically told you guys, I told her what I told you guys, and she was really immature. She felt like she was being attacked. She wasn't being attacked. She posted about it. People were saying, well, it's a shame that you got sick, but you're not going to get sympathy here because you kind of did that seller wrong. She didn't like that. She also didn't like people talking about the fact that a promise to purchase is serious. It's not something that should be like wishy-washy. We do understand there's unforeseen situations, but like what I was saying is, if one little unforeseen situation can derail your entire deal, then maybe that's not, you need to do the type of layaway where you don't commit to purchase anything and you just save your own money. That's another form of layaway that I think people forgot about. That is a form of layaway. You do a payment plan to yourself. That way you inconvenience nobody if the time comes and you don't have the money. He looks so cute in this. Nice and cozy. What did Judge Judy say? We never went because she didn't want to go to Judge Judy. So, and eventually we played out the whole situation. Like, I had to wait for PayPal to close it on her because she provided no evidence of what she was accusing me of the doll being damaged. And so they closed the claim, her claim, to get her money back. And well, they closed the claim, her chargeback, they closed it because she did a chargeback on me. So which means that she didn't go through PayPal. She went through her own financial institution and did a chargeback to try to force me. She tried to bring me to my knees. She tried to force me to accept. Oh, what is that little fuzz? Yeah, so she did a chargeback. That's like that's another way that scammers, they wrongly misuse the chargeback. Chargebacks are for real people that people that got really scammed out of their money, not for somebody who received a perfectly fine doll and then decides, oh, I just don't want any more here, especially when the terms were firm that this was a final sell and there's nothing wrong with the kit, with the doll itself. So yeah, so I had to wait months and months to get my money back, but I did. And the whole situation, I blame myself, only because it probably could have been avoided had I blocked her. The first time she pulled that little send me back my money stunt on me. This is so big on him, but you guys know how I feel about hats. Okay, so what is Sylvan? Oh, I can't even, for some reason, I can't even click on him. I just want to block him from my channel. Thank you for catching that, Katie. Situations like that one make it hard for all newer artists who are honest, people being paranoid after hearing the stories like Jen's. Yeah. Yes, but by the time I knew it was a no-go, PayPal said it was too late. I did a PayPal family and friends, never do that. Well, that whole friends and family debate, I sell from my personal collection, and I do give people the option to do either friends and family, or if I charge them more, they can do goods and services. Goods and services does protect both the seller and the buyer. It does. But at the same time, PayPal is really just a wallet, and I'm selling from my personal collection. So I ask for friends and family. I want the cash in hand. I want a done deal. Friends and family also insinuates, or friends and family also, how do I word this? It goes under the, when you're paying cash for something, it's like you're buying it at a yard sale or whatever, okay, you're not seeing these dolls in firsthand. But if you're going to agree to the terms of friends and family, then you're agreeing to everything, all the sell terms. Like my sell video was pretty tight, sealed tight. I had everything in there. I had the terms, the cost, final sell, no refunds, all the details about the doll, everything. And even then, I still got a scammer trying to scam me. I did friends and family, and she did a chargeback. She went around PayPal and went through her own financial institution. As I understand, I also don't like doing friends and family. Artists not all artists. There are some artists out there that are different, like Sylvia Esqueda, and she says, you can pay me goods and services, no friends and family here. So I like that, but there's a lot of artists out there, and some of them are like in other countries, and they're all asking for friends and family. And so, sometimes I'm just like, I throw my hands up, I'm like, I really want this doll. Okay, the artist is reputable, so I guess I'll do friends and family. So for the most part, I feel secure in doing friends and family with artists. I would rather they stop asking and just pay the cost, fine, charge me the $60 more that you have to pay and incur in costs, don't pass on the savings to me then, right? I'd rather, pay goods and services, because when I do friends and family, especially if there's like a currency conversion, I pay up the yin yang. I pay more, I have to pay all the fees and everything. So especially if it's international. I'm going to do this. How am I going to do this? This is so big on him. Oh my goodness. Let's tuck this. Let's tuck this in. There we go. Oh my goodness. It's so dark. I'll make a little video tomorrow so you guys can see him in nice lighting, all adorable, completely totes adorbs. Totes adorbs. So, my opinion, asking a lot of questions does not make you a time waster. Promising to pay, committing to a purchase, putting down a deposit, stringing the artist or the seller along for months, saying, oh, I'm going to pay right now as soon as we finish this conversation, and don't pay, and then constantly having to, you know, the artist constantly having to, or the seller constantly having to contact you. Are you actually still interested in every time they have to contact you because you don't communicate back with them? You tell them, yes, I'm still interested. I'm buying it. I mean, there are so many opportunities that this person in this situation on my community wall had to say, you know what, I can't afford it. I am so sorry, you know, because I don't think they could afford it back then either. That's why they needed a payment plan. I don't think, some people don't realize if you can't afford it now and you need a layaway, you probably can't afford it later either. Especially, like I said, if one event can derail your entire agreement, then you don't need it and you can't afford it. Friends and families is good for the one getting the money. Yeah, it is, isn't it though? I couldn't go to the bank because I made payments and the time in between, so they couldn't do anything. Yeah, I totally understand. You're doing, on top of that, you're doing payments. And yeah, I'm sorry that I just said that. If you have to do payments, you can't afford it. But if you're okay, so let me backpedal. Let me take that back. Scratch that. I don't think that if you need payments, you just can't afford it. That's not true. I think that if you need payments, but you're misusing the payment plan, and this situation that I talked about on my community wall is definitely 100% misuse of what the payment plan is intended for. And that's just my opinion. That's my opinion about it. I think the whole community learned from your case. I myself now implement your contracts in my sales. Good. And I think everyone who's going to sell a doll should, don't be shy, don't be afraid to say, hey, these are my terms. This is how I do it. I think I did a video about it. I can't remember. But what I do is I put a doll for sale, then I get a lot of inquiries, and then I have a generic sell terms that I send everybody who says, okay, I'm interested in buying it. Only to the people who say, I want to buy it. Not to everyone. If people are just inquiring about price, I don't go into like sell term details until they say, okay, I like the price and I want to buy it. So once they say, I like the price and I want to buy it, then I move here. I'm gonna do something special here. Hold on. Then what I do is I tell them, well, I have sell terms, so I want you to review the sell terms and I want you to make a decision. If you agree with all the sell terms, then respond here by saying, I agree to the sell terms. I've read and viewed the entire sell video, because I always do have like a sell video along with it, something for them to look at. The video and the pictures are part of the description of the doll. I've also know that it's my responsibility to ask all the questions, so blah, 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 blah. It's anyone who's bought a doll for me, you know, I got some long sell terms, but I do expect you guys to read them. If there's anything that somebody doesn't agree with the sell terms, I'm open to negotiating something on the sell terms, but it's a pretty fair sell terms that I present to people who want to buy for my personal collection when I have a doll for sale. So, you know, they could either agree or not agree, and I'll just move on to the next person. So, he looks so cute in this. Oh my goodness. And the little plastic hat, the little plastic cap that I put on there, that is a little hair maintenance hack by My Little World. She's the one who got me in that. I was gonna do this. I want to put him in like this so he can be all curled up. My Little World's the one that showed me that little hair maintenance, hair protection hack. Oh my goodness, you look so cute. What do you guys think? He looks cozy. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to. I think that might be as far as. I'm gonna move the camera up a little bit more. I'm so sorry, it's dark. Ah! Do not fall. Okay. There's Thurston, you guys. He's on the floor right here. Do you see him? There he is. Sorry it's so dark. I do apologize for that. There's Thurston. That's that little thing right there, that mop on the floor is Thurston. He's always here. He's always here. Always. Oh my gosh, it's so dark. I'm sorry that the lighting is crap. I think I put it on Facebook. I'm going to see. Oh, hold on. Let me see. I used to sell on eBay and I had to pay taxes. I pay taxes out of my Instagram sales, and those are secondhand sales of mine. Not my business, but since we send invoices, the money is taxable. Yeah, I also, when I sell from clothing on in my Instagram store, I do invoices too. I kind of want to do like friends and family, but usually I sell so much at a time that, to me, the way that makes sense is invoicing people. I need to keep track of everything. So yeah, for artists it's about taxes, I think, which is not very fair, honestly. Yeah, because some of them, like the ones we buy from, they pay a lot, like high taxes in the countries that they're at. Mighty Bet says, love the hat. Thank you so much, Mighty Bet. Jen says, oh, so cute. You know the part of the hat that you can fold down over his face? Fold that down and tie a ribbon around the hat. Then flip it back up over the ribbon. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a picture of what you just said, because I'm gonna have to come back and figure that out. But it still looks cute on him, even if it is a little bit. But I understand what you're saying. I'll have to try that. I think it looks cute on him. This whole little cozy outfit. Milo World says, I think sellers don't want to pay taxes. Imagine how much money they save on taxes when they sell tons of dolls each for $1,000 and up. Yeah. For artists, it's about tax. Okay, I just read that. Well, it was payments on custom. Not only, where was I? I just lost my place. Not on already done, baby. Yeah. I used to sell on eBay and I had to pay taxes. I pay taxes. Okay, I read that. I even paid her more for the friend and for her friend to errand stuff. I didn't even include that to the court. On the video is how much I paid for my and my aunt's custom. Oh, I'm so sorry. Honestly, I feel if you're an honest person, you have no problems with a reasonable and fair contract. Only shady characters don't like contracts, in my opinion. Very true. Very true. Thurston's chubby leg. He's laying there. So, let me see how long I've been on. 90 minutes. Yeah, my light is like totally gone, but I will make another video because I want to record him. He looks so cute in this, doesn't he? I hope you guys liked the outfits. I wasn't sure who was going to get this hat first, but I have another really cute outfit that hopefully I'll be getting in the mail. I also got this donut here from Katie. I mean, if you put a nice little, I didn't do it right now, but for pictures, I think I'll put like a nice blanket over this so you can't really see that he's laying in a donut, because sometimes you just want them to be kind of curled in whatever. I'm not really, first I don't like that I don't have enough light, but I'll be back with a short little video showing this outfit. Gray is another neutral. It's in the neutral family of things, right? I think I'm gonna buy the black hat because there was a black one similar to this. It wasn't exactly the same. I think the black one had just one pom-pom on the top. I'm afraid of black, but I kind of want to do it because I have another outfit in mind that I ordered. It should be getting here soon. And it'll probably be the next outfit that I put on Matthias. But oh my gosh, he looks so sweet. Just so sweet. Oh, my hanger. There we go. Let's go down here. Let's pop this down a little bit. Uh-oh. If I can find the video, I put it on Facebook. You love Tice. Did I miss something here? Let me see. Yes. Oh, you're talking. Okay, yeah. If you find your video, put it on Facebook. I would like you guys to see it and share it to everyone. I'm interested in finding out what happened, because if that's somebody that's like scamming people, people should know about it. With that last thing I'm going to say about the situation in my community wall, where I took the poll, the last thing about that was that this person, very much like what happened with my personal situation a couple of years ago, started using aliases to argue with people on Instagram, saying that this person was attacked, but it turns out that it was just her. You know, I understand she probably got desperate and wanted to defend herself, and I get it. It's an embarrassing situation. I get it. You have another baby you're paying for, and you don't want anyone to think that you're a time waster or a scammer. I get that. But just, if you're doing the right thing, you won't need to be putting out all these little fires, right? You don't need to go into, what do you call that? You know, damage control. You don't need to go into full-on damage control mode. So just do the right thing from the beginning. Take these are expensive works of art that people are selling and trading, and you know, this is a thriving little marketplace that we have in this hobby. Be serious about it. Take it seriously. That goes for buyers and sellers alike. Just take it seriously. It's people's money, their hard-earned money that you're dealing with. It's people's time, and time is money, okay? It's people's time that you're dealing with. So time wasters, it's a real thing. They do need to be kind of like taken to task, and just be safe out there. If something doesn't feel right, act on it. I know I went against my own gut on certain things, and I ended up in a bad situation as a result, not going with my gut, and worrying too much about what people were going to think about me on my channel. Oh, there goes Ines again. She's, you know, doesn't like this person or is blocking that person. Yeah, my block game is strong. It is. Them's the ABCs of me. I don't know what to say about that. It's just, yes, I do block people. I don't want conflict, and I don't want, if somebody does me wrong, I think that I need to stop giving people so many chances and give them another chance to do me wrong, even worse, you know? So, I guess that's it. That is all I have for you guys. I changed all the dolls I wanted to change, and hopefully I'll be back maybe this weekend with another video. I definitely want to do like a little short video with this outfit with him, because he looks super cute. And I want to thank my moderator at My Little World. If you're not subscribed to her, subscribe to her now. She has a really good channel with lots of good, nice, beautiful dolls, good information. Thanks for keeping me company and participating in the chat. And Jen, I'm so sorry about your situation and what happened to you. And thanks for sharing your story here. I was really interested in it. It's a shame that it happened, but it's good for other people to know about that these things are out there, and it could happen. So for all of us to be a little bit more careful. Yeah, it's no problem. I was really interested in what you had, you know, what happened to you. Yeah, it hurts deeply. It hurts deeply. Believe me, I still have PTSD from mine. So, but I guess we all learn, we all grow from it, and we do things, we try to change the way we do things moving forward, right? And try to protect ourselves. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again soon. Be safe out there. Stay safe and healthy.